Let's get in one more voice, and we are now joined by Fernando Covas, who's Director IHS Energy, and he joins us on the show. Fernando, hi. We just heard about the views on the commodity space, but what's your sense on the crude oil prices? I mean, nobody really is saying that we've seen a bottom in place. Where do you see the prices going up to?
No, we certainly think that oil prices are going to stay at least flat for the next year in the kind of range of around $50. And then kind of starting to pick up a little bit towards the end of 2016 and starting to recover in 2017. So we do think that the worst has passed for oil prices. We don't think it's going to dip again.
So you don't see $35, $30 coming in as a possibility, or are you not working with that at all?
Certainly, and there could be a dip at some point, but in terms of an annual average and where prices would stabilize, which is what really matters in the oil and gas industry, and that's really what operators look at. They don't look at spikes here and there. What they look at is, where does price settle? We don't think that it's going to be 30.
You know, another important aspect really is that with the decline in the prices, how would you say that it has impacted the spending and producers, and is there a number that you're working with?
Well, certainly spending has been affected significantly, and part of the reason has been that a lot of the countries just cannot sustain themselves profitably with the levels of spending or with the levels of oil prices that we've been seeing. Some countries are more able to cut costs and become more efficient and more effective in their operation than others, and that's what we're seeing now.
Do you see this oversupply then spill over in much of 2016 as well? I mean, when do you see the imbalance then get out of the way?
I mean, we do think that because of the slowing demand and combined with an oversupply, certainly we do expect that to continue for the next year and through part of 2017.
Fernando, you also track the guar prices, and with crude prices so off their highs, do you see weak demand and prices in guar also?
Yes, and in the case of guar, there's really two problems with the industry. One is that it's closely tied to frac demand. So the lower the oil price, the lower the frac demand, and therefore the lower demand for guar. So you know that affects prices. But on top of that, with guar specifically, given that production hasn't really gone down, you have a lot of storage of guar, which has really affected pricing for guar as well.
So one positive perhaps, and Fernando, that is, have you seen improvement in Asian demand with the crude prices so much down? Have we been able to take benefit of that?
Not really, and in terms of what could make a difference, it really is China that could make a difference in terms of the global oil markets, and we don't expect that changing in the next year.
Sure. So even as the prices are volatile and still going down, how much lower can the major producers like perhaps US and Saudi Arabia take? Who do you think will blink first?
Who could blink first? Well, the difference is that Saudi Arabia could certainly continue producing at a lower price than in the U.S., but at the same time, producers in the U.S. have been very nimble and have been able to become much more efficient in their operation. But we do see production being cut in the U.S., and more importantly, we see drilling operations and fracking operations reducing significantly. So I guess it would be the U.S.
2.2% down on a weekly basis, and the U.S. crude prices yet again have slipped below $40 per barrel, third time this week, and if the weekly closing comes in below those levels, there perhaps is more triggers on the lower side. Then, Fernando, would you say that perhaps is the thing incoming, because we still are looking at warm winters, Iran export surge is expected, and that would take the prices further lower?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and that's part of why we don't expect there to be, I mean, it almost puts a cap on how much higher prices could go, because it really is, that's really a big piece of why there's so much oversupply.
So final question, and we will let you go, Fernando. What's your range now for 2016? I mean, are you looking at 35, 45, 55? What's your level?
It would be more kind of, let's say, 48 to 55.
Point taken. Fernando, thank you so much for your time, and that's the view really coming in from IHS Energy. They're expecting the crude oil prices to see a bottom soon, and today, of course, has been quite